Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. So my name is Anna Ortiz-Aragon. I am the CEO and founder of Declutter with Anna. And this is my podcast. And I'm so excited because today is episode 39, Good Clean Gut with my friend Eliza Goode. Hey, Eliza.
Hey.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. It's fun.
Yes, thanks, girl. Okay, so I wanted to invite Eliza onto the podcast because we actually connected on LinkedIn. And Eliza and I originally met on a study abroad trip. So we went on Forum Nexus. It was a group of 40
Maybe
40
100.
Yeah, it was a huge group. And we did 7 different countries and 13 different cities in 1 month. And it was so amazing. It was right after college. I was so happy. It was just one of the greatest times of my life. We were all up in Europe and just, taking the train. We were flying. We were on the tour bus, and it was just amazing. And we kept in touch, and here we are. We're both in holistic world.
And later.
Yes. Yeah, literally 10 years later. So this is so exciting. Okay, girl. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself, Eliza. So tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Eliza Goode. I'm currently in Boston, but I do like to travel around. I've lived in New York City, London, Philadelphia, and I've always been kind of a mover and energizer bunny. And then about a year ago, I finally said, okay, enough. My gut was telling me, I was very bloated, acne, just very, very imbalanced. And it had been long enough of putting it off and just saying, I'll get better when, to no, I'm dedicating my whole life to my own healing journey. And I know that I've always wanted to be a wellness entrepreneur and creating and sharing based on my journey, really with my gut. But really what I want to talk about today too is all of the different parts of your body that, your gut affects. I struggle with mental health, with hormones, with food, and all sorts of things. So I am so glad to have found healers too, like Anna, who have tried out a lot of modalities that really can get us back into that homeostasis that we're all striving for.
Homeostasis. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. Beautiful, Eliza. I'm so glad that you're here. Okay, so would you tell us a little bit about your healing journey? How did you narrow it down to the gut, and where are you now?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people who end up kind of in this whole gut spiritual journey realize they've probably been to traditional doctors. I'm full in support of Western medicine, but it was gastroenterologist after allergist after doctor, where I was also moving across the country and stuff. I was just like, okay, no, this is not working. And so it was actually a chiropractor who does what's called neurokinetic therapy and really can kind of tap into the subconscious through muscle testing. That she was really able to tell me, I call it reverse therapy. She was telling me kind of some of the emotional blockages I was feeling. And so I went more spiritual route along with sort of the medical route. And so while I looked at my food and my supplements and cleaning out the bacteria, our guts are bacteria. It's just a matter of what's good and what's not good bacteria.
Yeah.
Through that, I was continuing to uncover emotional blockages that I found really affecting me, not the gluten, but the mode and the state that I'm in on a daily basis, coming from a chronic sympathetic nervous system space. And so for me, the meditation, the cleaning the home were really effective in conjunction, though, with the swapping out some of my products, because I knew that what I was putting in my body was important. So I started to care about what I was putting on my body, around my body, and seeing that as I'd rather not do any disservice by using a toothpaste that's not good for me when I brush my teeth twice a day. You might as well use a good one. But then I found that I was making so many changes, and I'm a very sort of go do it all extreme person. I realized that's hard. That's an element of stress itself. And when you're not feeling great, who wants to do all that research. So now my mission is really to simplify and to take the stress out of being healthy, that you might have this mysterious thing that's on your skin, but maybe it's from your gut. But what are the 2 steps that you can do? And let me help you get there, because it's a lot.
It's a lot. There's so many healing modalities. Yeah, literally. So first you went kind of like the Western route. So you were going to a lot of doctors, and then you found a chiropractor, and the chiropractor was able to touch on different levels.
Yeah. And she referred me to a functional medicine, sort of Japanese, Chinese medicine acupuncturist who really helpful with a variety of those tools. And then as I developed a relationship with her, similar to Anna, I'm really curious about different modalities. I spoke to a woman this morning who does craniosacral therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've shifted my mindset. This is the number one thing of, at first, when I quit my job, I was like, I'm sick, I'm not well, something's wrong, like total anxiety driven approach. And now, I don't have a flat stomach. I don't like a perfect digestion, but I have my tools. I know that I'm on the right path. And I know that I'm not going to see a craniosacral therapist because but like, I'm curious, like there's definitely still imbalances that I could learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you went, this holistic approach. So they were able to use muscle testing to tap into your subconscious, which is brilliant. Like I've had a doctor do that for me, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And then they discovered like emotions were in there, also your environment, what you were putting on your skin, obviously what you're eating. I think oftentimes the first thing we think of is like, oh, I have to change what I'm eating. And it's like, yes, but you could be eating fruits and vegetables all day long, but have like these deep-seated grudges or resentment or like heartache that prevents you from actually healing, or even your mindset, as you said earlier.
Yeah, it can be complex, but I try to the reason why I focus on the gut is I really know that 80% of our immune system is in the gut. The gut is our largest sensory organ. It affects our brain, emotional health, skin, digestion, all sorts of things. So I feel like it's just sort of a center pot to start with first when someone's having some imbalance. Yeah.
Absolutely, girl. Beautiful. So some of the things that you included was like switching out your products, right? So give us some tips for the gut. Like obviously everybody's gut looks different. It's all a completely individual experience, but what are things that can really help us out?
Yeah. And when I talk about the gut, I think people think, like the stomach, the lower stomach, but going to Body Worlds, that museum of science, like exhibit that they have in some cities. But even if you just Google the gut, you'll see that it's actually starting in your mouth and like with some of the nerves around here and going all the way through your esophagus, kind of down in your chest and your stomach, out, bowel movements. And so yeah, again, that's a holistic approach in thinking. It's not just like my lower intestine, which often that's where, yes, bacterial imbalances can be, but really, and realizing that your skin is your largest organ and that bloodstream, it's a lot of surface area for your gut that's kind of wound up in your body. So my recommendations for swapping out clean products is the most obvious in terms of thinking about what you're using the most. And during COVID, we are home. Cleaning supplies, honestly, is probably what you're using the most in your space. And so I swapped to a non-fragrant, very clean, chemical-free cleaner called Force of Nature Clean. You literally just buy this electrolyzer, which then you mix this tiny little capsule and water, and it's safe for kids. It's effective against COVID. It's a disinfectant on the EPA's list. And fragrances are not required to be disclosed in the US. In London, different rules there. And so I came back and was like, okay, so yeah, cleaning supplies, I would say, especially if you have kids, there might be crawling on stuff, getting a cleaner one. And I have a database too of not just the one I use, but other ones as well. So that's huge. Also, when you think about skin, I'm going to get to lotion, but I would say the number 2 is laundry detergent, actually, because laundry detergent, Tide, all these have a lot of fragrance in them. And again, it's just on the ingredients. If you look today, it just says fragrance, and that could be a hidden chemical. It is a hidden chemical. And there are a ton of more natural ones that you actually have to use less detergent of. So it ends up being more sustainable. And so if you have kids and you're putting the clothes on them, but also they're touching your skin, it's something that you can definitely get around with a cleaner one. I use the doTERRA essential oil On Guard blend, which is a very fall scent. It's wild orange, cinnamon, clove, rosemary, eucalyptus, which I love.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. So those big territories are huge. I would say, like, your skin, your hair, shampoos, harsh sulfates, and those, Garnier Fructis shampoos I used my whole life.
Me too. Oh my God.
Yeah. Once I switched to a natural one, I can't go back. I mean, I can't even wash my hair all the time, either. So that's something that it's close to our brains. We want to protect it. And I think why I really am so passionate about this is that, on a day-to-day basis, moms and others are just trying to survive. Like, who has the time to be researching shampoos or, even caring about this? And so, because you might not feel like a whole allergic reaction tomorrow. So I really try to bring awareness to the fact that this stuff is in our bodies already. Let's do ourselves a favor for the long term and minimize any chance of any developmental issue or reproductive issue or whatever, and just take out the thought, and they'll just swap it for you, and then you can just go on with your day.
Yes, I love those easy fixes. Okay, so cleaning products, all the sprays that you use, laundry detergent. I thought that was super interesting because all of your clothes are touching your body.
You're smelling it, and when you put your face in the laundry machine or go in the laundry room, it's a smell. Yeah, and it smells refreshing, but why?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Natural flavors and fragrance. Yeah. What is that? Yeah. And then it's even on your bed sheets and like your pillowcase. Like, so laundry detergent is actually like a huge move. If you can swap that one out, even if you only do one of these categories, like, it's going to have a significant impact on your life. And then body products.
Start small. You don't have to go and throw out all your stuff today, but we can help you kind of start strong. And then, Anna, do you use diffusers with essential oils?
Yes, I do. I love essential oils.
Yeah. Lights me up. But instead of the Airwick or the Febreze in the bathroom, just got the diffuser going with a few pure, good essential oils so that you're breathing in what is cleansing and purifying.
Yeah, and plants are super powerful. A lot of people think, like maybe they don't want to switch their deodorant or switch their hair. Oh my gosh, look at your beautiful plant. Yes, because they think it's not going to work. They think that the chemicals are like more effective or something like that. But really, like, plants, all of these chemicals and even like pharmaceuticals are like, they're replicating what plants do. Plants are super powerful. So if you get into the essential oil world, you only need like a couple of drops, and it's like, whoa, like tea tree oil is intense. Peppermint, like all these beautiful scents pack so much flavor and so much, like, I don't know what the science term is, but there's plant power in there that can really help you clean and feel better, your mood, all of these wonderful things.
That could be a whole other podcast on just the beauty of essential oils. But they have helped my gut.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that separately, but yeah.
Totally, girl. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. So going back to the gut. So the gut, what are all the different things that the gut affects?
For me, the biggest, the biggest is mental health. So 90% of our serotonin, which is our happy hormone or neurotransmitter, is produced in the gut. And so never will I have the answer of, did anxiety cause my gut dysbiosis imbalance, or did my gut cause my anxiety? Doesn't matter. It does. Just think about it. When you have a bloating or stomach ache or gas, you're not going to be as happy-go-lucky as normal. But it really, I never had mental health issues, but it came on strong with my gut. And so, if I have one takeaway, that is it. And I also have to say that it's so individualized. Like, there is a lot of new science and recommendations, and you'll read a million different people's view on the gut. But what I really like to do with my clients is coach on down to the root cause of the gut. Because, I said gut affects your emotional health. It also can affect your skin. So some people's, the way it manifests is like eczema or psoriasis or rash or something. Others, it can be joint inflammation. So when your gut is inflamed, it can affect other body parts. Also just discomfort from in your gut, literally from your mouth to your butt. For me, I had what's called leaky gut, and that's when the cell walls, of the lining were permeable, and so the bad stuff was getting, that was coming in, toxins that I was breathing in, or skincare, whatever, was getting out into my bloodstream, and then my good stuff wasn't being produced. So fatigue is a huge symptom of gut health, because you might be eating, or a lot of people are scared to eat because they get bloated when they have anything. And so that's a huge issue. And when you're really tired, sometimes it's harder to sleep, and sleep is when your gut is restoring its bacteria, the gut flora. Sleep is the most important thing beyond anything for the gut, and you want to be able to optimize that. So again, that might sound like a lot. So with a client, I'll say, okay, how's your sleep? How's your bowel movements? How's your skin? And we're not going to tackle everything at one time. We'll feel out what's the most significant thing. Maybe it has to do with a fear of eating, an eating disorder, or maybe it's not. So you kind of have to discern what's going on.
Yes. Oh my gosh, girl. Absolutely. Who knew that the gut could manage all of these things and influence all these things?
Yeah. And it's the same with the mental health thing. Stress can contribute to poor gut health, but poor gut health can contribute to stress, because when you don't feel good, you're like, why don't I feel good? So I think that's where a lot of your modalities of when you are in a healing mode, you want to have a calm home. You want to have a calm mind, because that's really where our bodies want to be, and especially when they're healing.
Oh yeah, rest and digest. I'm all about
it. Literally, yeah. Parasympathetic nervous system. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm just having so many realizations right now, particularly with mental health. Because I often think of the gut as where our intuition is, right? So do you listen to your gut? But if your gut isn't feeling well for all these other reasons, you're not going to want to listen to your intuition. What have you learned about that?
Huge. That is my root cause. It's sort of like my gut doesn't feel good, so it's hard to trust my gut, but my gut doesn't feel good because I wasn't trusting my gut.
Yes.
So I'm big into chakras and sort of thinking about where in the body. And there's this principle about geography is alike, or something like where you're feeling the discomfort. That's obviously somewhere where there might be an emotional, physical blockage. And there's something about sort of that area, literally, where you think about your root chakra, which is self-esteem, and your sacral chakra, and really kind of trusting yourself. So what I would say to that is meditation, calm. As you can tell, I'm a high energy kind of go person. And sometimes sitting down for meditation is difficult, but that's why I've engaged in therapy and in other healing modalities that, whether it's a placebo effect or not, but those are set aside times to just sit. And when you do that, you kind of settle in. Like I literally feel like stuff that's I'm holding up here in my gut, like literally like it moves down. And once it kind of settles and you feel and you access that stillness within, the trusting your gut becomes easier and easier. And it's a practice. It's a practice for sure. So a lifelong practice for sure. Journaling is another really good exercise for me because I'm not the kind of person who can just sit here and be like, zing, okay, trust my gut. What does my gut say? Like I'm an overthinker. I struggle with that. And so journaling is real. Like it's a sitting motion. It's a dedicated time for me and it's where it comes out.
Yeah.
Journal?
I do. Yes. I'm a huge fan of journaling. And yeah, I love to do it like first thing in the morning, and I just like to get my thoughts out, whether it's kind of like a burden on my shoulders or something that's been on my mind or some kind of conflict going on in my life. I just write about it in my journal. And It's wonderful because like you don't feel like you're complaining to anyone because it's on paper. It's private. It's just you talking to yourself or you talking to the universe, God, spirit, whoever you're into. But yeah,
gut.
Yeah.
You could say, gut, what are you feeling? What are you saying to me? What is my gut telling me?
Yeah.
How many times have I been told that? The golden rule of life. To listen to your gut.
And I think it is a practice, it's people will say that all the time, but if, you didn't grow up in a household where your parents helped you learn that, or, it's definitely not taught in schools, which, makes my heart hurt because these kids could really
in med schools, if studying the gut, it's not about that. It's about the diseases.
Right.
That.
Absolutely, girl. Meditation.
And another way I forgot to mention that it can the gut imbalances can manifest, and I see this all over Instagram, is food sensitivities. I mean, people react to different things, and yes, some of them might be allergies, and always get tested with your practitioner for that. But sometimes it's just a point in time. There was about 2 years I was sensitive to literally everything I ate.
Yeah.
And it subsided over time as I strengthened my gut through supplements and through good lifestyle and just all sorts of things. So that's something it's really confusing for people, and it's really hard to, on your own, know when to introduce things and take things out. And, I'm not an expert on that either, but when you are listening to your gut, it gives you a little insight.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just going to get you the more direct path if you can tune in there. So great, girl. Yeah. So mental, emotional, physical, food, obviously fatigue, sensitivities. Yeah, that's amazing. Like the gut can encompass all of that. And something that you mentioned today that I hadn't really thought of or heard about before. Your heart?
Heartburn. I have like genetic esophagus issues, and a lot of people get like acid reflux, heartburn. I've gotten that as well. So that's a lot for me, like on foods and stomach acids.
Totally. Yes. Like something that you mentioned today was that, your gut starts at the mouth. And it's like, the whole experience and I guess the travel all the way down to like elimination.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a
lot. There's a nerve called the vagus nerve that goes right from here and kind of sends the signals from your gut to your brain. And sometimes that can be dysfunctional. And so some of the healing that you do with Reiki and other even humming or singing can help stimulate the vagus nerve. So that was an important discovery from my acupuncturist to really kind of understand that it's not as much of an anatomical thing. It's more of a nerve thing for me.
Absolutely, girl. I love this. Okay, so you have been exploring the healing world for quite a while, and you have met some like fabulous practitioners. So in your house growing up, you know, if you have siblings, what was it like for you guys? Was this a common subject that was talked about, like health and well-being?
Yeah, my family was always very athletics driven. We're quite competitive. So by default, we were healthy. We were, physical and food conscious. And I appreciated that for sure because I felt better, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lack of emotion. While we are emotionally intelligent, there was a lack of emotional discussion. It was,
Mm-hmm.
you fall down in the soccer game, get back up and run harder, or you don't want to do that, well, just go to practice. There was no emotional conversations. And so for me, while I had an active, exercise and healthy eating routine forever, and I was always viewed as the healthy person and a lot of massage and energy healing and all of that, always, when I started to feel fatigued, I did feel separate from my family because that's just, exercise energizes you, food energizes you. Why would you feel so fatigued? And I realized that for me, the gut became from a stressful life of not listening to really my gut as a youngest child and finding my own path.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah, all connected. But I think the next generation, this is going to be ever more important, just given the state of our world right now and the chemicals we're still all consuming. So
right.
now it's really the lifelong passion for me and just kind of changing the name of the game when we say health and wellness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe like just having more clear definitions of what all it encompasses, you know, because I think my childhood was very similar to yours. Like we were very active. You know, my mom and dad were wonderful cooks, which was amazing. So I did have that going on. Relatively cool with the products, but I think this next generation will be different. And I think that what we're making room for now more than ever is like the mental health and emotions. I think that that's being talked about and, you know, putting a lot of pieces together that may not have ever been solved before, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And creating a space for that support to be given and received. Yeah. I've actually been teaching my parents and family all about the products. They have no idea. We're still in the process of swapping out all of the old, even though I've been doing it. But they really see the benefit. And my dad, he's like, I wish I had this 40 years ago.
Right.
He could be better off. So it's empowering.
It is. It's so empowering, you know. And then when you look at the ingredients label, like that's one thing that I try and share with everybody. Is like, okay, do you look at the ingredients?
Yeah.
Do you know how to? Like whether it's food,
Yeah.
the macros and the micros,
Yeah.
or if it's products and like the whatever is at the top of the ingredients list is the most in there, and whatever is on the bottom is like the least amount in that product. So really educating people so you can do it on your own when you're at the store and you're in the healthy section. Ooh, yeah. Tell us about this.
So this is the Environmental Working Group's app called the Healthy Living app, Skin Deep and Food Score. So you can search or you can even scan like a product code to see the rating in terms of allergy, skin, developmental, cancer concern with common products, both skincare, bath, body, and food. And that's really helpful data source. I trust the Environmental Working Group's research.
Yeah.
And it just gives you a meter that on a scale of 1 to 10, if anything's over a 5, maybe we should swap that. If it's less than a 5, you can look into specific ingredients within a product. Each one of those is rated as well to get an average score. So it's really insightful to have on hand, like even in your home to do it on your own. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you know what's funny? Because like the marketing companies are catching on and they're like, okay, if we put some leaves on the bottle and call it green or natural, they're going to think that this is a good one. But then you look at the ingredients or you scan it and you're like, oh, actually, it's basically the same.
Yes. Yes, that is. I used to work in marketing, and I actually did a summer intern project years ago on green market and how at an advertising agency. And I was like, everyone's just putting on this word green. Like, it's not actually that. Like, you have to, unfortunately, we have to do some of that work ourselves. And so we're here to help you do that.
Yeah. And to empower those companies to,
Yeah.
to do better. And so they can create more. And then we can like slowly weed out all the Clorox and the bleach. And like when I was little, we used to love like the little Christmas trees, air fresheners that you put in the car,
Always. Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, Anna, that is so bad for you. But, you live and you learn. So you have to have grace with yourself, be very gentle. You don't have to change everything overnight.
Don't be critical. We just didn't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now we're lucky and grateful to have better options and people to help us.
Absolutely, girl.
I haven't made any of this up. I just learned from other people and want to support and share their message.
Yeah. We're all in this together. We're all on the same team. We all want healthy, happy families.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if we can share our resources, like, why wouldn't we? We were doing a disservice if we don't empower other families to have the same wonderful experience, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So key.
Yay, girl. Beautiful. Okay. So I'm wondering, one question that I ask everybody on the podcast is, what is something that you have recently let go of?
Mm-hmm. Striving for there we go. I'm not perfect. Striving for perfection. I know that about myself, and I really thought I'd given it up. We do all this work, self-work, and then it comes back. And so I have just accepted, I have a good gut. Is my gut like one they put on like a museum? Like, no, but it's fine. Like, am I going to be fully energized every day? Like, no. Does that mean something's wrong with me? Which is what I assumed before.
Mm-hmm.
No. And so I'm really seeking balance. I'm letting go of trying to achieve perfection in all components. I want a great social life, great relational life. And yeah, I will have those things, but I can't beat myself up in the meantime for not having them, because if I take a step back, I probably do have them. I just have unrealistic standards. So I'm just letting go of these inaccurate expectations of myself and just being with, this is what I got right now.
Absolutely, girl. We are so similar. Yes, perfectionism is like a thing for me also. And it's like, the education and the wisdom and the light that you have to bring is so much more important than your fear of being perfect, right? Like, let's just get it out there. Let's just share the information, love on the people so that they can start the healing journey too, and being the role model. Perfection. Yeah. It's a train that you're never going to catch,
Ever. It's just this is so real that I thought I had gotten off of, and then it comes back. So,
it comes back, yeah.
Just want to remind people that no, we're all in this work together, and
yeah,
we're just aspiring to be better, not this one thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Absolutely, girl. Yay. Okay, so now will you share with us, how can we reach you, Eliza? If we want to keep in touch, I'm going to share all the links, but you tell us right now how to find you.
Yeah. Big fan of Instagram. So you can find me at Good Clean Living, and good is with an E, Goode. And I like to post videos and tips and tricks there. Also, my website, goodcleanliving.com, has a bookable consultation form. So we can just hop on the phone for 15, 20 minutes to chat, see what's up, and see if we're a fit to work with some of your health goals.
Yay! Okay, and then I just made a banner for you right there. So everyone, check out Eliza. Did I get that right?
It's the Instagram is right. The website is also good with an E. Goode Clean Living.
Yes, Good Clean Living. Okay, wonderful, Eliza. Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for your wonderful insight. Like, I love learning about the gut. I'm so glad that we're on this path together. Do you have any final thoughts before we sign off today?
Thank you so much, Anna, for pulling this together. I think that there's hopefully some pieces of this, that even words that resonated and just sparked your curiosity. I think that's really the intention. There is so much goodness in detoxing, decluttering, and growing. And so I want to know that if you're listening, you're not alone. We're here to help and just discuss, because it all would make the world a better place.
Exactly. Yes, we are here for you, everyone. So thank you for tuning in. So I'm going to upload the audio to our podcast, and then all the folks on Facebook can catch us live and see the video. I'm also going to upload this to YouTube. And thank you, Eliza. This has been wonderful.
Thank you. Awesome.
All right, guys, have a beautiful day.